Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage. We're back, baby.
Good to see you, Kat.
I missed you, you know. I did.
It's been a little while.
I know. Did you watch the Oscars?
No.
Okay, but you must know what happened.
I do know what happened, but you asked me, did I watch them? And absolutely not.
I actually don't think... Do people really watch those big award shows like Grammys and Oscars anymore?
I don't know. Nobody in my world
watches.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I think what happened could have been staged.
No. Okay, so we were sitting watching TV. Bridgerton. I don't know if you watch Bridgerton.
No.
Oh my gosh. I know you guys out there watch Bridgerton for sure. Okay, so we're watching it and it's like, wait, put it on pause. Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Number one, I had no idea the Oscars were going on. What did you think of the video?
I think that it's suspicious. Number one, the Oscars, like you just said, who even knew they were on? Nobody watches it. They probably have terrible ratings.
Uh-huh.
Number two, like Will Smith walks up to him. And okay, if I walked up to you like so mad and I was like getting into your personal space and coming at you, what would you do? You would probably back up or do something. He literally put his hands behind his back and like took it.
But it's Will Smith. It's Will Smith.
It's Will Smith. Why do you put your hands behind your back? That's the last thing that you would ever do.
It's Will Smith, the Fresh Prince. Nobody expects Will Smith, honestly, to do something like that.
There's some really pretty good jokes going on at his expense, to be honest.
What did you see?
I saw one today. Hold on.
There have definitely been some interesting ones. And while you're looking for that, I think like I spent about 10 minutes analyzing the scene to be like, yeah, but he hit his hand on his chest as he was slapping him.
Oh, he did?
He did. It looked that way.
He got this one somebody sent me today. It says, what did the police find when they dusted Chris Rock's face?
What?
Fresh Prince.
There have been a ton. And I guess there's so much debate going on about if it's real. Like, I know I did have my moment until I saw in the news the next day where it was like, Chris Rock is not planning on pressing charges. But I honestly did think that.
Well, yeah, he's not pressing charges because he was in on it.
I guess, I don't know whether it was staged or not, but I just thought there's been so much going on, talks about it, about whether, you know, Will Smith was right for doing what he did, getting up and standing up for his wife, although he did laugh at the beginning. He was laughing.
Yeah, he was.
Or whether...
And then his wife gave him that look. Like, really? So...
What do you think? Was that courage? Was that courage to stand up for his wife, his partner?
I don't think there's really anything good that came out of what he did. Mm-hmm. I don't think that he needed to stand up for his wife or partner in the moment. I think if that was seriously something that he felt offended about, he should have taken it up privately after the fact. But yeah. I mean, he literally went on a stage and assaulted somebody. And I understand, I see it from all points of view. But, I mean, when you go to those shows, you know, you have a comedian as the MC. You know that he's getting paid to get up there and crack jokes and keep people laughing. And everybody is fair game. And so, like, I just feel like that wasn't, I feel like it could have been handled a totally different way and it would have been more effective. Yeah. But look,
I mean, I get that.
I mean, I went to a comedy, so I just went to Vegas last week. And
she's always traveling, guys.
And we went to the Laugh Factory and we saw a comedian, and we had like our friends booked the tickets, and they were like super close, and we were like, dude, you never get really close at a comedy show, because then they're gonna pick on you, or they're gonna like pull you up on stage. And so I kind of feel like it opens the door for, you know, people just to think that that's okay. When it's not okay to get upset over something that was said and like assault somebody.
Yeah. Well, I guess. So basically, this is what had happened. So I don't know if you know his wife, Jada Pinkett. It was because she's got a bald head at the moment, but she had recently come out how she had been struggling with alopecia. So all her hair had been falling out. So one, I guess for her, for women, all women, your hair is your glory, right? And what Will Smith got up and said was, does the hair flick? Well, you know, what Will Smith said, obviously being a comedian, you're right. You put yourself up to this, as in people are going to make fun of you. But, you know, I heard an interesting perspective today, and this was on the news. They had a social media professor or something like that coming on to talk about it. And it was just talking about how, aside from being the comedian, women of color, for a long time have felt that in history, no one's stood up for them. No one's sort of come to their rescue and say, hey, stop talking negatively, stop treating them bad, rather than just being the butt of the joke. So it's been interesting to see that on the other side of the coin, outside of it being they were technically both at work, these are their careers, some people saw it as a courageous and heroic moment in that he was, one, standing up for his family, his wife, but also I think it resonated with a lot of women of color to say it's a Black man standing up for us finally, which has been an interesting way to see it. Now, I know maybe you know, may not be something you understand.
No, I don't get that.
So like, you know, I mean, I can see both sides of, because I've been having this conversation all day. I understand him. I do understand him standing up for his wife. Was it the right place for him to do that? You know, someone said to me today, you've publicly humiliated my wife. Why should I now go, you know, in a private room and address it? I'm going to make your humiliation also public, right? So these are all different people's reactions, both of which, you know, there's a certain amount of courage, balls that it takes to do either one, right? Now, for Chris Rock didn't react. And I think it was I can't imagine it was easy for him, if it was real now, for him to stand there and take that slap and not react. But I guess he's also thinking, the opportunity I've got right now, I'm at the Oscars, right? If he was to retaliate, it could turn into something else. For Will Smith, it was an emotional reaction. But one, he couldn't sit there and watch his wife be made fun of, especially if she's suffering from a medical condition. But at the same time, I also thought, but he just won an Oscar afterwards. What does this do for you afterwards, you know?
Well, and it takes away from the film that nobody's talking about the film, King Richard, and all those people, and, you know, all of the work that it went into them. Nobody's talking about anything but this.
Yeah.
Have you heard of any other? Do you know any other winners?
Like, I don't know any other winners.
Right, yeah, you don't know any. Like, you don't know who else spoke. All you know about the Oscars is
Will Smith.
Will Smith smacked Chris Rock.
Chris Rock said this may just be the greatest moment in TV history as
I don't think there's anybody in their right mind that didn't know that was coming. That puts their hands behind their back, takes it, and doesn't fall down, doesn't get mad, doesn't do anything, but just reacts the way he did. Like,
if it was real, that
there's no human I don't believe do that.
If
Will Smith came up to you, if somebody is coming up to you mad,
and you
can tell
Smith.
they're in your, who cares?
It's Will Smith. No, but I'm saying, like, there's some people you don't expect that to come from.
No,
them.
you don't expect, but your spidey senses
and he was smiling.
And your anxiety cut, like him coming up to you on stage.
Mm-hmm. He was smiling though. Will Smith was smiling, but I think he just thought he's gonna come and tell a joke. That's what I thought.
Why did he put his hands behind his back? Go watch the footage.
Because he thought he was gonna tell a joke. The only thing that didn't make me believe it is his arm came across his chest, which would make me think Will Smith had a mic, so it hit his chest and made the thud. Because a slap sounds like, but that sounded like a.
Yeah.
Right. That would, like, I don't know.
I think it's going to all come out in the next couple months, but
he did apologize.
Yeah, he did. I mean, and I watched Will Smith. He has some good motivational stuff. And I think everybody makes mistakes. I'm not saying that anybody should not forgive him for.
I don't think they're even hating him. Then I don't think there's anything to forgive, because for a lot of people, they're just, So
I have to be on the opposite side of that. Like, I don't think that that's showing courage for women or anything like that. And that's what this podcast is about, right?
Right.
Being able to see both sides of the coin or have different opinions on things.
Yeah.
But like, to me, like, not being able to control your emotions and resorting to violence is a problem that we have around the country, and he did it on one of the biggest stages. So, I mean, I like his shows. I like typically what he stands for, but not a big fan of
what
that. But I mean, it's just one moment in time, it's.
Yeah. And I mean, like, he did apologize. And I think that takes courage, being able to admit when you are wrong, It doesn't always feel great to apologize.
Wrong, if he is saying he was wrong.
Yeah.
Then was he really wrong? Because you're saying that all these people think he wasn't wrong.
Well,
but he's apologizing for what he did, which is then kind of saying, I was wrong about that.
I think he's, I guess more what he definitely said he doesn't condone violence, right? And in that time, reacting in that time, it also wasn't the right place. I don't think he's apologizing for standing up for his wife. I don't think he's apologizing for that. Because to him, that's someone who was hurting. That's his world. And I think him apologizing, one, to the Oscars and to Chris Rock, he also looked at those relationships and so that these are relationships that I do value. I wasn't right in how I reacted to this in this moment. That wasn't it. So he's apologizing for that, but I don't think he's apologizing for, for standing up for his wife. I don't think so.
Yeah, I just don't, I
don't think so. And I think that apology is also doing the things that we don't want to do sometimes, sometimes not to remedy a situation, but sometimes there are times we have to do things that we don't want to. I don't know whether he would have really wanted to apologize, because for me, if he could stand up and go and smack Chris Rock for his wife, he meant it. I think he meant it. But I think it's doing what he had to do, even if he didn't feel like it, because social image also, you can't condone violence.
Right. So he had to apologize.
Technically he had to apologize. He had to apologize. It's a tough one. Definitely violence is a no.
I don't really think it's a tough one. I think he was 100% wrong. I think you can stand up for your wife in other ways. And, I would have been embarrassed if my husband did that as the wife.
Yeah.
I would have been embarrassed.
Just on that stage, though, or in any situation, like if you were out in, because I guess this has also been part of the debate.
I would have been
Is it because it was the Oscars, or if this was a party and you were out at a restaurant and your husband?
Well, I mean, like, I think, my husband would have a verbal, like, talk to them about that. Like, he wouldn't have punched anybody or slapped somebody. And that's a really weird thing if you think about it. Why? I mean, men don't go up and slap each other. Like, why didn't he just punch him? Because that's what men do. They don't slap. So, I mean.
That's why you think it's fake, isn't it?
No, I just think it's fake because of the whole thing. But, you know, like, if you're at a party, there's more ability to, like, have a conversation than there was there. You know what I mean? Like, you crack a joke, it pisses off somebody's husband. Your husband then could say something, and Chris Rock could have said, "Man, I didn't even know that. I'm sorry." And it could have been squashed. Yeah. But because Chris Rock did say he didn't know that she was going through that. Yeah.
Did he? I don't know. Did he?
Yeah, he came out and said he had no idea that she.
But did no one? They must check his jokes before. Did no one on the Oscars team know that she was going through this?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So, anyway, I just don't think I would have been super embarrassed if I was at an awards banquet and my husband cracked a joke. Even, like, I'm super sensitive to my Bell's palsy, and somebody said, "Oh, you know, Jen, you got a crooked smile," or whatever. If he would have got up and walked on stage and slapped somebody, I would have just been dying inside and been like, "Get me out of here." And I definitely don't think I could have sat there and accepted an award after and gone up and given a speech.
That I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I could have gone back and sat down. I think he should have just walked out, got his wife and walked out.
Oh, I guess those are the things that would make you question whether it's real or not. But, you know, we've just ended Women's History Month.
Oh, wait, before you get into that, if you follow us on Instagram, let us know if you think it's real or fake.
Oh, fake. Yes. I would love to know. We've just ended Women's History Month, and I think it's only right that we, you know, talk about at least I wanted to at least give a mention to a few ladies who have broken down barriers. Okay. For us to be able to do what we do, be as free as we are. It's still an ongoing battle when it comes to things like pay, equity, etc., etc. I know the battle's still going on, but I just thought I wanted to highlight women who were courageous, who had courage in, I guess, what you could consider small moments, but they had such a lasting impression. So one that I wanted to name was Malala Yousafzai, who in 2012, I don't know if you guys remember, she was in Pakistan, and this gunman shot her in the head 3 times. And this was because she stood up for women or girls having the right to read and learn in Pakistan. And it's just been so incredible, the amount of social change she's managed to have, and, you know, the way that society in Pakistan and other countries has changed because of her actions for just standing up for her wanting to have the right to learn to read.
And you said she was like 12, right?
She was like 12. She was like young.
That's super courageous.
I just imagine if you could be that courageous at 12. I mean, what's in store for you? Like, how much change is she going to have?
Did she survive?
She did. She survived. She survived. She's still alive. Like, I think they flew her to, was it the UK? Or where she had her surgery. She's still alive. And she's still advocating for, you know, rights for women to learn and continue to read. And then you have Rosa Parks, of course. She was tired, you know, in that moment didn't want to move, but just looking at standing up and saying, no, why do I have to move? I have a right to sit here. And how much changed it's just led to over the years.
Isn't that crazy just thinking about that? Like when I hear that story and I think about like she was just tired and she like kind of made her mind up that she wasn't going to move. But like just an everyday moment really could change the world.
Yeah. And that's in like what I was calling the small moments, because it's not like one at that time that's seen as a heroic moment. You're not saving someone from a burning building or
a gladiator.
Yeah. She is just going through her everyday life.
Yeah.
And has changed history. And then there's Victoria Woodall, who was the first woman to run for president in the United States. The thing is, it was about 50 years before women actually had the right to vote.
Wow.
Can you imagine just believing in yourself so much, or just going for something so much? Women don't have a say, a right, and you're counting on these men to vote you in.
Which they obviously didn't.
Men, keep working on it. Keep working on it. And then a last one. Well, I had two. Harriet Tubman, who led countless amounts of slaves through the Underground Railroad. I watched her movie. I think this was 2 years ago. And lastly, Catherine Switzer. And I had to mention her because fitness. She was the first woman to run the Boston Marathon. So the Boston Marathon was organized by Jock Sempley. And as she was running, she was pretty much done. And he realized she was a woman, and they tackled her while she was running so that she couldn't complete the race.
People are so weird.
That's what I'm saying. So I guess, friends, have courage.
Cheers to those women.
Yeah, cheers to those women. And I hope it inspires you to have courage in small moments.
Awesome. Thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.